I'm pretty terrible at streaming. Chat, how do I train my gag reworks? Oh shoot, wait, not that. Here. It's an OSU skill I've always wanted to be good at, but my god, do I blow. I mean, who wouldn't want to be able to hit something like this? While I won't say I'm a jump one trick or anything, my aim is dog water, I would still consider it mostly better than my streaming. So I thought I'd spend some time following a bunch of tutorials on how to improve my streaming and see where it would get me, because I've never really watched videos on improving in OSU. I'm far too busy for that. It's all just been me learning it on my own. My worry is that I've ingrained in myself a bad habit that is actually hurting my ability to improve. I guess I'll find out. My goal is to get to the point of being able to beat Freedom Dive, the Arl's difficulty. Lofty goal, I know, but hey, might as well. There's also absolutely zero chance I get a good play, but it would be neat to at least beat it. So for the next month, give or take a week, I'll be locking myself in my room to play OSU. Okay, maybe let me get a snack first. Okay, so I was joking there, but I do plan to at least dedicate a few hours a day to improve. Also, full disclosure, I'm going to be using OSU Laser. I know it might be considered cheating by some of you, but after getting used to Laser, I cannot go back to stable. Anyways, the first video is from BtMC, rather it's a clip from his stream.
Alright, do you want the short answer or the long answer?
Short.
Long, please? Alright guys.
I'm kidding, of course. He gives some pretty good advice.
Have a great foundation with 180 BPM at 7 objects, that's f***ing great. If you want to push that, try playing 175 BPM at 9 objects. Alright? Believe it or not, that helps you develop the finger control to then get better and faster at the game, right? Or you can try playing 190 BPM or 185 BPM and try to go for 5 objects.
He's essentially talking about varying the BPM and the actual length of the stream so that you can better develop finger control, stamina, and all the other important skills, which sounds perfect for this map. I've had this map for a while, but never really bothered to touch it because, I mean, it's so boring. Not really. I just get frustrated at the beginning when my fingers can't keep up, so I rage quit. This time, I was going to tough it out and instead use them as a quick warm-up and benchmark to kind of see where I was day to day. This analogy might be obvious or honestly more silly than anything, but hear me out. I thought of these maps as similar to an aim trainer in a first-person shooter. In a first-person shooter, most of the round you probably aren't taking gunfights. You're moving around the map, holding chokes, waiting, probably dying. So similar to how an aim trainer would give you immediate access to practicing your aim, these maps also give you plenty of streams, whereas you might not have that in a normal map. Was that incredibly obvious and unnecessary to explain? Maybe, but that's how I rationalized it to myself. And having these maps included in my daily routine has helped improve my finger control and my fingers from locking up as much as they have. I was also kind of hitting this long practice stream mag, which I used to always fail within like 5-10 seconds. Don't get me wrong, my stamina is still god awful, so eventually it goes to shit, but it does look like I'm actually improving, which is great motivation. The next tutorial is from Tony? I'll call him Tony. He's done a bunch of tutorials on OSU that generally range from beginner to intermediate. This particular video is one of a 3-part series. The first one is more of a introductory video for someone who might just be beginning OSU. This one proved to be a bit more useful. In fact, it actually caused me to change a habit that I didn't realize I had.
I'm constantly over-aiming because I'm looking too far ahead. I was basically a React gamer. Yikes. The cursor should match the flow. I'm not saying, oh, I read absolutely every single stream at exactly 8 circles at a time, because that's just not the point. Though, in some cases, it can be particularly useful if it's mapped in that way, because you've broken down the long stream into smaller chunks which are easier to follow. I'm just narrowing my vision down so that I have less chance of resorting to reaction.
Yeah, I guess I didn't quite realize it since playing with Hidden is essentially base OSU to me, but I tend to read ahead. Well, it's kind of just how Hidden is, so I'm often relying on my peripheral vision to hit whatever my cursor was on. So his advice is to break down streams into smaller segments, which has kind of helped me slow down my eyes, and my stream aim is slowly improving. A lot of these tutorials unfortunately do not give me the improve your streaming with this one weird trick, doctors hate them, that I so desperately want. They mostly boil down to just play more and you'll steadily adapt to streaming. In my case, I've taken a roughly 3-year gap since I really played. That has meant that I kinda have to relearn a lot of stuff. The worst part though is seeing a 3 or 4-year-old score, feeling like you got a good play, and then just not beating that score. That hurts tremendously, and often dampens my desire to play at the moment. But over time, I've mostly come to terms with the fact that I just suck major donkey butt, and I just need to keep playing if I want to improve. So about a week after I started this journey, if I even want to call it that, I caved. Before this, I had seen that rapid trigger keyboards were great for FPS games like CSGO, which is perfect, because I hate that game, so I didn't need one. But it never crossed my mind that it could be useful for OSU. A few years passed, and I came across the Koi Fishu video ranking a bunch of the rapid trigger keyboards, and then I saw it. So of course I had to get it. In case you don't know, a rapid trigger keyboard allows you to activate a key the moment you let off, as opposed to a normal keyboard where the reset point is fixed. So this was it. This was the solution. With this, I would be unstoppable.
Come on.
So, that didn't instantly make me way better, huh? Well, it isn't all bad though. My current keyboard uses red sound switches, and they're great. They're tactile enough for me and quiet, which was my main reason for getting them. But the switches are a bit heavy, and my fingers can get quite fatigued during longer streams. The Leica L60s, L45s by default, and the Wooting Uwu are much lighter, so I have a bit more stamina to go through longer streams. Also, I'm just a fan of the styling. Update. After like a week with this keyboard, I turned off the rapid trigger. So I wanted to install some O-rings to make it a little bit quieter, but this messed up with the rapid trigger functionality and often resulted in double taps. I was like, you know what, let me just try the keyboard without rapid trigger, and why does it feel better? Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not capable of taking advantage of the rapid trigger. Oops. Okay, that was a bit of a sidetrack, but now we can go back to following some tutorials on streaming. Oh, I mean, my aim could use some work, I guess, so we could... Oh, another one? I mean, sure, more could never... Oh boy, too much! Might have gotten distracted by a bunch of other tutorials. I've never really watched tutorials on OSU before. I'm far too busy for that. So once I started watching a few, and finding some things I was doing wrong, it was hard to stop watching. So I'll just go over some quick ones that had the most impact on me.
Movement snapping essentially makes every angle on a jump completely possible by curving into the note. By curving into the note, you can essentially make this 180-degree angle feel like a 45-degree angle. Bear in mind, it's extremely advanced and super hard to get the hang of. Here we can see Cookies do the same thing on Flower Dance while hovering, using movement snapping to get that tactility for jumps. This makes hovering, and aim in general, much easier to deal with.
Okay, so while editing this, I realized I completely misinterpreted what he was saying. What he's talking about is kind of curving inwards when making jumps. I initially interpreted this as just simply being snappier with your aim. Either way, it still worked out for me. I've long found myself struggling with things like square jumps, and this video made me realize it was likely the way I traced them. I tended to follow a circular motion around the square jumps, which simply wasn't consistent for me. This video inadvertently convinced me to adopt a more rigid, flatter angle of jumps, which actually ended up greatly improving my consistency, not just in square jumps, but normal jumps too.
You wanna get good at streaming, so you start playing maps that are very demanding for you in terms of stamina and finger control. You push yourself, push yourself, push yourself, but the more you do it, the less you actually improve. And that's all because of the one thing I was missing the entire time. Balance. You see, if you spend too much time practicing just the one thing you're bad at, you're doing mainly two things. First of all, you're essentially neglecting every other skill set you're already good at, so even if you may improve slightly in one aspect, you're getting worse overall.
Maybe hyper-focusing on streams wasn't the best idea? Good thing I caught this video early on. I found myself having more fun when I would recognize that a particular day was not going to be a stream day, and just farmed instead of torturing myself with streams. Shocker, I know. The unfortunate side effect is that I've gotten back to DT farming. I was happy that I had finally gotten some non-DT scores in my top 5, and then boom, pretty much all gone. Still got one though, eh? There were a bunch of other tutorials that were really helpful, but I didn't want to spend an exorbitant amount of time simply going over all the tutorials I followed. I'll have them all linked in the description, and I would highly recommend checking them out. Even tutorials I thought weren't going to be for me still taught me something new. So after about a month, where have I ended up? My streaming is the worst it's ever been. No, I'm just kidding. I'll start by going over what's changed. For one, I've started practicing streaming even when I'm not playing Osu. What this means is a few times a day, I'll just be alternating my fingers for as long as I can. So whether I'm on my PC watching YouTube and doing 5 other things at once, eating a salad and watching YouTube because I like being sad sometimes, or just laying in bed and doing absolutely nothing nefarious, like watching YouTube. Has it become a problem? Nah, I can stop whenever I want, okay? It's not a big deal. Leave me alone. The YouTube thing? Yeah, probably. Now the important question, is it actually useful to do this? Probably. I don't know. I can hardly tell what's having the biggest impact when I've adopted so many different habits in the name of getting better. But I can't imagine that this isn't helping me build stamina. It's also easy to do because there's no stream for me to get mad at for not hitting. I've also started doing these hand exercises before every session. Gotta thank Mai for that. One, so that I don't break my hands, but 2, also just to improve flexibility. But my god, these walking extenders, brutal when I first started doing them. They still kind of are. And finally, how good is my overall streaming ability now? Honestly, I don't know. It feels like the one skill that hasn't grown at the same rate as my other ones. My jumps, so much better than they used to be. DT, still farming it like a madman. But streaming, one day I might feel like I made a big stride in improving, but then the next day it feels like I take 2 steps back, and it's so frustrating. In the beginning, I saw some solid improvement, but now it's much more gradual, if there even is any. Hard to tell. Ultimately, it's been one of my weaker skills, so maybe I'm expecting too much to think it would be on par with my jumping by now. Maybe I should lock myself in my room for another month. That should do the trick. Wait, what? Oh, no. I stream on Twitch. Sometimes. I finally caved and changed my name from the gibberish it used to be because of TV slapped on the end instead. Ew, I know. But probably for the better. Oh, this video took so long. I'm never making captions for these videos again. Wait, what are you still doing here? Oh, yeah, Freedom Dive, right. The whole point of this video. I mean, like, the video's already so long. I already went over everything that I wanted to fine, I didn't beat it, alright? Happy now? Here's one of the better attempts that I actually have saved. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Hope to see you around. seconds. God. I can't make it any further than that. Oh my god. They're just I don't know.